Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Schorr. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. Especially today, we're actually live in what was the bedroom of Liberace, an amazing place, an amazing fireplace. We're so thrilled to be here. Talking about being thrilled. Our very special guest on the program today is a man that I'm truly thrilled to be able to interview. He's done so many things in his life. One of the things that he's done is he's gone past tragedy to become a success. And I think the things that he has learned through that tragedy can help us all become successful. His name is Kody Bateman. He's an individual who I think you're going to want to listen. We'll be right back. You'll meet Kody in just a moment. Stay with us.
Hey, it's Mark Chinook from Monday's Dark, and you are watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
What does it take to be successful in life? What does it take to be successful as an individual? What's the difference between becoming the victor or the victim? Sometimes it's a very fine line. Our very special guest on the program today is a man who's gone through all of that. He has become the founder and CEO of an amazing organization called Send Out Cards, and at the same time, he's a wonderful author. We're very, very honored to have as our guest today, Kody Bateman. Kody, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Steve. It's an honor to be here.
Okay, so I started off by asking that question. What does it take to be successful today? People, I believe, you tell me, I believe people have become too much engaged in having that happen rather than being what it takes to be successful. And I think there's a difference between the two.
Yeah, for sure. One of the main things that I talk about all the time, especially in today's day and age, what it takes to be successful, and this may sound cliche or whatever, but what it takes, number one, more than anything else, it's very important to be nice to people, period. You got to be tenaciously focused, and you got to do all the stuff with whatever business you're doing, but in today's day and age, you have to be nice to people.
You know, I heard a speech recently from Immaculée Ilibagiza. Immaculée Ilibagiza was a survivor of the Rwanda genocide massacres that took place in the 90s in Rwanda. And she talked about that we all spend too much time worrying about the tomorrows and not as much about the todays.
Boy, I'll tell you, in today's day and age, what happens, I think social media plays a big part in that. People are so focused on what's in social media that it makes them worry about tomorrow and compare themselves to all the stuff that they see on social media versus stopping to smell the flowers, to take in a deep breath, to enjoy the sunlight. In other words, people are living through their screens instead of living life. So I think that's kind of the same message. We gotta chill out a little bit and live life, you know.
When I look at your life, you're very different today from what you were a number of years ago. And it was a tragedy in your own life that changed where you were going and how you were getting there. That incredible route on the highway of life that you were about to take changed because of a tragedy. You would never have created Send Out Cards. You would never have become the man that you are had it not been for that tragedy. We all face in life tragedies. I've faced a number of tragedies in my life. I think every single person in the audience has faced tragedy. Your tragedy was very personal, was your brother. Mm-hmm. Explain how you got through that and how that turned to Send Out Cards.
Well, first of all, to tell this story quickly, I had a prompting that I needed to go say bye to my brother Chris before we moved away from our home. We were actually moving across the country. And we went over and said bye to my family, and when we went to leave, my brother Chris was in a lot adjacent to my parents' home. I saw him. He was like 150 feet away. I saw him, and I had what I call a prompting that I needed to go say bye to my brother Chris, give him a hug, say goodbye, but I ignored it. We got in the car and we drove away, honked, waved. the whole bit. We moved all the way across the country, and about 3 months later, I get a phone call in the middle of the night from my mother telling me that my brother Chris had been killed in an accident. He was 29 years old when he passed. He had 3 children, ages 7, 4, and 2. But when I got that news, the only thing I could think about was I ignored a prompting to say bye to my brother Chris. I'd never have the chance to do it again. And that's, like you said, that was the tragedy that transformed my life. It changed everything at that moment. I made a promise to my brother the night I got that news. I made a promise to him that when I had a prompting to reach out in kindness to others, I would act, and I'd try to do all I can to help as many people as I can do the same thing. So that's the story, and it completely changed everything. And I'll tell you, Steve, I learned that promptings are really important in people's lives. They will guide you where you're supposed to go in your life.
Promptings are the thing, and you wrote a book about promptings. One of the books that Kody wrote was called Promptings. And it's a wonderful story about what we should each do. I wear a pin every day of my life that says make a difference. Make a difference is as simple as listening to your promptings. If you see somebody in trouble, if you see somebody in pain, sometimes it's just saying it's okay. Sometimes it's just giving a hug out of nowhere. And we all get promptings every day. Now what you did, which was I think very, very unique, is when people get that prompting, get that feeling, now there's a way for them to contact your company, send out cards, immediately consider sending to somebody a prompting saying, life will get better, it's good, you feel loved, whatever that case may be. And then in the mail, they get an actual card, not an e-card, I mean an actual card that they can hold in their hand. Promptings are critically important.
Oh, there's no question about it. And one of the things that we've learned over the years is that when you have a prompting to reach out and say thank you to somebody, and you do it in a tangible touch. So, you write out a message, and a lot of times you're willing to write your feelings more than you're willing to say your feelings. So greeting card is a big part of that, I think. And we've sent 175 million of those greeting cards over the years, so obviously it works. But here's what happens. When you reach out to other people, that's acting on your promptings. But what it does is it actually nurtures your inner prompting. I say there's 2 kinds of promptings. The inner prompting is just that inner voice that speaks to you, tells you you're a genius and who you are inside. When we're children, we get those inner promptings all the time. We hear them loud and clear. But as adults, after living in a cynical world, we're beat down so much we don't hear the inner prompting anymore. But if you reach out in kindness to other people every day, just once a day, if you just send out a card a day to somebody, just to say, thank you, I'm thinking of you, appreciate you, it ignites every single time, it ignites the inner prompting that you have, reminds you of who you are as a person.
And we too often forget that. As children, and I say this all the time, as children, we don't learn about prejudice. We don't learn about hate. We don't learn about all the negative things of life because we listen to the promptings. We all have the promptings as a child. We feel that you get that sense as a child. Oh, I can't wait to go out with my friends. I can't wait to be with them. I can't wait to go ride my bike around the corner. I can't wait to do that. As an adult, we lose that prompting. We forget about those promptings.
Well, there's no question. All you have to do is look at a child. We come into this world wired to have connection with other human beings. Look at a child. I mean, if you look at a toddler, 1, 2 years old, go on an airplane, sit in a seat, and if there's parents in the seat in front of you holding a 2-year-old toddler, what does the toddler do? They'll look back at you, they get eye to face, they start to smile at you. We're wired that way when we come into the world. We're wired for human connection. That child's survival, they have to have that connection with a parent or with other people in their life to survive. So we're all wired that way when we come in. But like you say, as life goes on and you grow up and you get told no 60,000 times by the time you're 5 years old, you kind of start getting beat down. And it's just important to reignite that desire to connect with other people.
But that's the microcosm of business. When you think about it, that is the microcosm of business. That That is that thing that makes somebody successful or not successful. It's that ability to connect. It's that ability to go, hey, I'm here on the planet with you, and I'm glad I'm here on the planet with you.
Yeah, no question. In today's day and age, and more than ever before in today's day and age in business, if you want to talk business, people today do business with those they know, like, and trust. So you have to create connection with people today, and it's got to be genuine connection. It can't be fake. People get fake all the time. You can't be fake. You've got to be real with people, and you have to have a genuine desire to serve other people. You know, people don't care what you know. They don't care who you know. They only care how you make them feel. And that's why it's so important today to create that connection.
And that making people feel a certain way. Your new book is called The Power of Human Connection. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But that's what this is. This is getting back in touch with who you are, feeling that human connection, and not being afraid of it, and not being ashamed of it. I don't know why in today's world we've become ashamed of having human connection. It's okay to say, to look at somebody's eyes and say, I got you.
Right.
I got your back.
Yeah.
It's what human connection's all about.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And it's so important today that people understand that. You know, the power of human connection is what this book's about. And it's interesting because what we have found, in order to get, this is really interesting, in order to get readership, we have to leverage today what the marketplace wants from us. And what the marketplace wants from us, in this case, is, you know, if I had a system that could help me to generate business, I'd be interested in reading that. So we have to leverage that. But the way to do that is to create genuine human connection.
Okay, don't go any further.
Okay, yeah,
don't go any further.
Right. I'm sorry, man. I just got to jump
I know.
in.
We're going to take a break for a couple of seconds. When we come back, I'm telling you, we're going to talk about what the power of human connection is with this amazing man who's been a success and now helping others do the same. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Martin Ravenhill. I am the proprietor, owner of the Liberace Mansion, and I welcome you and invite you to explore all of the incredible features we have available at this historic house. Liberace lived here from 1974 until his death in 1987. Since then, I've been able to remodel and restore this house to its former glory. Here we have 15,000 square feet of amazing historic space available for weddings, ceremonies, corporate events, and charity fundraisers. The Liberace Mansion. There is no place like it in the world.
Imagine being a mentor to millionaires. Imagine being an individual who has seen their own life change and now helping others do the same exact thing. A very special guest again, Kody Bateman. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to read something that you write in your book. It says, a mindset for abundance and prosperity. I've long believed that people get prepared in life for only those things that they think will make them successful, make them happy. But being prepared for life for the abundance and prosperity of life means that you also have to be prepared for the lulls of life, the down part of life. You've been through that. You've seen all of that.
Yeah, there's no question. In fact, I like to compare it to this. Nature says that in order to have a rainbow, you first must have a storm. And so sunshine and rainbows don't come until there's a storm first, and everything starts with a storm. So when the storm clears, then you see the rainbow, and then you see the sunshine, and guess what happens? Then you go back to a storm again.
But that's a wonderful analogy.
Yeah.
You have to have a storm before you have the rainbow.
That's right.
And we're always ready for the rainbow, but not ready for the storm.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny. I was having a discussion with a close friend of mine the other day, and he just got into this new relationship, and he's so excited about this new relationship with this young lady. And we were talking about that, sunshine, rainbows, and storms. And I said to him, now you realize that when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's going to be sunshine and rainbows and storms. And he didn't like that very much. He's like, no, we'll never get in an argument. We'll never, but that's just not true. That nature says that there's that cycle, and you have to be prepared for it.
You talk about the human connection. You talk about, if you're going to be successful, don't be afraid of that human connection, and make that human connection. A lot of people don't want to do that today. A lot of people step back rather than step forward. I watch families sometimes at restaurants. There's very little connection. They're all on their iPads or their cell phones, very little connection. You go into some places and you watch business people, no connection. Have we lost that power of human connection?
Well, absolutely not, but you have to learn to focus on the right things again. We have to retrain ourselves to do the right things, make eye-to-eye contact. Somehow we got this notion that we can do everything digitally today. I don't need to go meet with somebody, because I can just do a Zoom call and do it over the computer screen. But it's important to realize that going to lunch and getting belly to belly with somebody, and the opportunity to look somebody in the eye is crucial, because that's where connection is made. So we have to get back to that. And I think even millennials today are starting to understand that. In fact, what's interesting with my business, we send out real tangible greeting cards. And what we're finding is millennials are really starting to grasp that. Now keep in mind, they've been born and raised digitally, but they're understanding that in order for them to be different, they have to do things different. So we got a lot of millennials today that are starting to send real greeting cards out to people, and that's encouraging to me.
Okay, so I have to ask you now probably the toughest question I'll ask you. You talk a lot about the power of human connections in regards to developing business, multi-level marketing approach. We've all come across multi-level marketing, I'll use the term schemes, that have utilized and tried people to utilize a relationship to a relationship, and basically pyramid schemes of business. You're against that. You're more for the power of what that human connection can do. What's the difference to what you teach people to the pyramid scheme approach to businesses?
Well, when you talk about, I certainly don't like to use the phrase pyramid scheme, but when you talk about the multi-level structure, the challenge in a lot of multi-level structure today is people are in it as to what they can get. In other words, I'm going to recruit you into my business so that I can get something from you. Our approach is that I'm going to recruit you into this business so I can give something to you. So I can become a mentor. I can show you, teach you, be invested in you, and help you. And in today's day and age, the power of mentorship is incredible. So there's pros and cons to every business model. And network marketing is no different than any others. It has its pros and it has its cons. But one of the pros is it does give you the ability, if you have the right mindset, it gives you the ability to recruit somebody and mentor that person and give everything you have to help another human being rise up and be successful.
But what I read in all of these pages, Kody, what I read in all these pages is what every single business in America does. If you're going to be a successful business, you're going to create relationships with people. to either buy your product, come into your casino, come to your show, be your fan, if you're whatever the case may be. It's all about building relationships. I think the difference is what you just said. It's not what you're getting, it's what you're giving.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what the whole book's about. That message is almost on every single page. How important it is to give. That's it. People ask me all the time, what do you do, Kody? And I say I teach people how to be nice to each other. And that's really what we do. Now, there's a lot of details into all that and everything, but that's really what we do, is we teach people how to be nice to each other in business and in your personal life.
But I don't care if it's in the greeting card business. I don't care if it's in being a real estate person. I don't care if it's being a lawyer or a doctor. It's all about that personal touch, which is human connection.
That's right. Think about this. In business, listen, everybody has a desire to make a difference in the world. Everybody does. It's like, in order for me to have meaning, I want to be able to make a difference somehow. Most people spend the majority of their time in their life in an occupation. You spend every waking moment in an occupation doing something. So whatever that occupation is your opportunity to give. You become an expert in your occupation, whatever it is. That's your opportunity to give of yourself to somebody else, to be of service to somebody else. If I'm an expert at something, I'm going to do everything I can to be of service to you with whatever I have expertise in. And we talk about that a lot in the book, is to be a master of your craft and use it to make genuine connection with people. We have interviews in here where we interview other successful people that have used our services. Very successful people. Yeah, very successful people. And a common theme that a lot of them say is, as an example, I interviewed a guy that runs a car collision business. And one of the things he says, and many of the people in there say, is that, listen, I'm not in the car business. I'm in the people business.
There you go.
People come into my shop. My job when they get there is to be of service to that human being. The car collision part is just a byproduct of who I really am, which is a person that wants to serve somebody that's in need. When somebody comes in with a car that's busted up, they have a huge need right now. They've gone through an emotional experience with a car wreck, and it's my opportunity to be of service to them. And so that's what it's about. Kind of loosen the grip on your occupation itself and focus on how you can be of service to other people.
What I also gained from reading this is that we all have to realize that no matter what our vocation may be, no matter what we do in life to make money, you spend more time doing that than you spend in your personal life. Don't do those things for your vocation that make you unhappy in your personal life, and do those things in your vocation that give you the power, that give you the sense of success.
I should have interviewed you for the book. That would have been a great little chapter to be in there. What you just said, that was great.
But that's what's in here.
Yeah, it is.
It's not just about selling a product or bringing a great friend who you know now, if you bring them in, you're going to help them. It's about creating a positive power of life. That's what this is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm just really excited about the message in the book, and I'm really excited about the people that are featured in the book. Because, like I said, there's so many stories of people. Listen, there's a lot of good people in this world. I mean, we live in a day and age where everybody's focused on the negative all the time and how we're all separated some crazy ways. But I'm here to tell you, as I go out and interview these people, millions and millions of people, good people. There's just so many good people out there. We all just got to band together. Listen, we're in this game called life together.
Together.
That's it.
We're in this game of life together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm in this game of life with people like you, because I honestly believe through things like the power of human connection, through things of what you've been doing through your entire life, makes society better. So thank you for being with us this past hour. It's been It's been insightful to me and given me, again, a little bit of extra push in life. So I thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it very much.
You know, the key words are, it's the power of human connection. It's where you go in life. It's not just being a success, but making sure that person who is going to be that success is a person that you truly like. I'll have some closing words in just a moment. Stay with us. Kody Bateman, amazing. I think every time we learn something about who we are and what we can be and what we want to be, we become better individuals. You know, when you have the power of human connection, it really is a transformation of ourselves, becoming different people, being and finding that person who is really inside. We all have that opportunity each and every day. I think when we do that, it's better for us, better for our families, better for our friends, and better for life. I'm Steve Schorr. Until the next time, be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.